Hello folks and welcome back to Medieval Total War. I am Conostep and this is going to be part 31 of my early campaign where I'm playing as Aragon. And things are on the rebound here in this campaign. Things are looking a little bit better. As far as my economy goes, I am sitting at 86,000 in my treasury. And although I'm only going to be making 277 florins this turn, I believe that's just primarily because a ship sunk just due to a storm here in the Straits of Sicily. And that cut off a lot of my trade. In fact, I also noticed that I don't have any boats in the eastern or the central Mediterranean, and I believe that is costing me as well, just because it's not, even though there's no ports here directly in this area, this can be a good link between all of my other ports. In case something does sink, this can link other places. Like, for example, yeah, I think without having a boat in the Straits of Sicily, all of this other trade is being cut off. Whereas if I had a boat in the central Mediterranean, would that still count? Yeah, because I would be linked through here. I'd be linked to the Western Mediterranean, the Malta Channel, and then the Central Mediterranean. And that would link me to the rest of this if I had a boat in here, which I do not. So I need to rectify that and make sure that that's not going to get me again. In addition to that, yeah, also I have a new king, and he is awful. Like, scary, scary awful. He's only 2 influence, and although that's not causing any civil wars yet, I'm wondering if that's simply because we don't have, like, we have an heir, for example. Let me find him, Prince Enrique. So this is his brother. Low loyalty, but we're keeping him in the same province as the king. And I think that could end up being a problem, right? Where there could be a civil war. We have a king with little influence and then an heir with low loyalty, and that's a really bad combination. So what I'm thinking is I'm building a crusade marker here in Leon so that I can launch a crusade, and my crusade target's going to be the Italians because they are currently excommunicated, which is indicated by this broken cross right here. It's kind of hard to see, but yes, there is the regular cross for the Catholic factions, and then if you're excommunicated, it's going to be a broken cross, and that makes you a target for crusades. So that's a good option. I want to take Corsica anyway, just because I wanted to take all of these island nations, or all these islands, and sort of recreate the historical crown of Aragon. And that can work. That can be a good idea, I think, just to get some more influence from my king. However, there's a little bit nerve-wracking here, because the excommunication becomes null and void if either the king of the targeted faction dies or if the Pope dies. Now, if you look at the Italian Doge, he's 33, so he's not going to be dying anytime soon. The Pope, however, is sitting at 66 years old. He is going to be dying any moment, and oh dear, that kind of scares me. I hope he makes it 2 more years before my crusade marker is built, because yeah, I don't think, like, once he dies, I'm pretty sure this excommunication goes away. Now, would it just happen again? Because Italy and the papacy is still at war, and that does not go away just because the Pope dies. So hopefully they would just be excommunicated again, just, by the fact that they're at war with each other. So that's kind of my fingers crossed moment right there. The French, the French are scary. They're still at war with just, the Almohads, the Egyptians, the Mongols, the Italians, the Novgorods. Neither of which are super powerful. The Egyptians are powerful, but they have these 3 areas of their domain which are all split off from each other. So they have these, 4 regions split off from all of these regions, which are split off from Khazar. So it's a really weird domain, and they're kind of having trouble with the French and me, although we're not at war. Still, I did take Antioch. But the French are here, the Byzantines are still surviving, and they're not at war with the Mongols, but, the more the Egyptians have issues with these other factions, they could, start having issues with the Mongols, maybe. And they are bordering the French out here as well, in Hungary and Austria. This is a area where there could be a little bit of a showdown here. And I'm not mad at that. Like, if the Egyptians wanted to apply some pressure to the French, go for it. That's something that could create an opportunity potentially for maybe the Germans to make a comeback, or maybe the Swiss to kind of break out of their little province here. Looks like the Swiss Is this the Swiss or is this just a rebellion, actually? This might just be a rebellion. Do the Swiss exist yet in this campaign? Maybe they don't. Maybe that's just the Almohads campaign that I'm playing. But they are at war with the Novgorods, and the Novgorods also seem a little bit too hold up here. They're not really being aggressive, so... Yeah, the French are someone who, looking at points, I'm making a lot. I'm making, what, 17 points? The French are making 16, 17, 15, 16, 17. So 19 points for the French. So at that rate, you know, I would not catch up with them. And they are already ahead of me by 40 points. So they're going to have to be dealt with at some point. And that's a scary proposition just because a lot of my trade actually does depend on the French. The fact that they own this much of the world, that's a lot of ports of theirs that I'm trading with. So I do not want a repeat of what happened between me and the Byzantines to happen again between me and the French. That would be really bad. And that would really call for a very decisive conflict for me to get that over with nice and fast. So if I can deal with the French in another way, that would be preferable. And by another way, I'm thinking more sneakily. If I can use my agents, whether it's my inquisitors, whether it's my spies, whether it's my assassins, it'd be nice if I could deal with them in a more underhanded manner so that I can keep trading with them while I'm trying to kill them. And that would work out better. That would allow me just have the time and space to kind of focus on my own shit. Like, you know, taking these islands that I want. And even though I'm not making a lot of points off of conquest, for me it's 1 point for every 4 provinces that I conquer. Still, it does add up. So for example, like what do I have right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9, 10. So that means I'm making, yeah, so 2 points off of the 8. So if I get 2 more provinces, that would be up to 12. And then I'd be making an extra conquest point. And it doesn't seem like much, right? But considering that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more counting periods, that's like 7 more potential points. Say, you know, 8 if it's not till, or 6 if I don't make it till 1321. But still, that 6 or 7 points can make a difference at the end of this campaign between victory or defeat, depending on how close this gets. So conquest is still, you know, worthy, right? Even though it's not as powerful for me as it is for the Hungarians or the Poles who don't exist anymore, so I can't show you. But yeah, in their campaigns, they're getting a point per province that they capture. So when they conquer things, it's very, very valuable, right? It's not as valuable for me, but it's still worth doing, right? So I would like to take Corsica, I would like to take Sardinia, and try to get my king's influence up. Hopefully that works out. Hopefully the Pope lives long enough for my crusade marker to be built. And in the meantime, I'm just gonna keep, I'm just building soldiers like mad right now to try to send, get guys ready for a crusade. I think I can beat this Italian army. It does have some decent soldiers, but actually the king as well. Nothing too great. But, you know, 3 stars is 3 stars. But I mostly just need to beat the Italian Navy. They just have 2 ships here. And as long as I bring in enough boats, I should be able to beat them. One is their 3rd tier, the fire galley. But still, I think that if I just, you know, bring a 3-2 advantage, I should be able to win this. Oh, bugger. God damn. The Pope has died just on the year that my crusade marker has been finished. Oh man, that's such bad timing. It was so close. So yes, all excommunications have been declared null and void. But we did get Prince Enrique, a wife to the Italian Doge. Not to the Italian Doge, but you know, to one of the Italian princesses. So that's good. Man, god damn. So what am I gonna do now? I was really counting on that. I mean, I gotta say, for the time being, it doesn't look like anything bad's happening. So, you know, I guess things are fine for now. The loyalty to my generals is... It looks okay, doesn't it? Doesn't look too shabby, so... Yeah, that looks fine, I suppose. So I guess it's not a super duper emergency that I get this crusade going, although now I have this crusade marker just standing around looking stupid, so... Oh geez, that's so unfortunate. So yes, the Italians are back in the good graces of the papacy. Well, I mean, they are still at war with them, aren't they? Yes, they are. So hopefully that that goes south for them pretty soon here. So I'll keep an eye on that. And honestly, that gives me time too, because I was kind of like rushing things to get an army going for that crusade. And now I have a bit more time to, you know, like get things going the right way. And hopefully if the Italians, well, hopefully the Italians do get excommunicated again. And then once they do, hopefully I'll have an actual army ready to go. Because I was really rushing things. I was going to go in there with like spears and genites with no archers, you know. I didn't really have much. I was going to send some like regular archers from my armies here in Aragon and Navarre. But that's also not super ideal because these armies on my borders aren't that powerful either. So yeah, that was gonna be a little dicey. And even though the French armies here aren't that numerous, they are way, way better quality than my armies. So there's definitely things for me to be doing other than, you know, going on crusade. So as long as there's not going to be any issues with my king's influence, then yeah, I guess we can just kind of hang tight for the time being. We are now here in the year 1290, and I have not been narrating the last few turns just because there hasn't really been a lot to talk about and, you know, really keep you in the know. But just because, I mean, frankly, I've been doing a lot of the same things that I was doing while I was broke. It's just that now I get to spend a bit more money. But other than that, I've been really patient, keeping my eyes on how things are turning out in the world. Obviously, working on my military, working on my economy, and all that fun stuff. But other than that, yes, I've really been having to rein in the aggression here because I'm really tempted to make certain moves. I'm really tempted. I almost was thinking about, okay, man, if we have all of the French royalty here in Tripoli, we could just take them out. But that's so risky because if I miss one French heir in all of these territories, then I end up in a gigantic war and I can't trade with them. So I'm going to be going broke. So it's one of those things where, yes, if I could kill the entire French family in just one attack, that's something that's worth considering. But I did find 2 other heirs. I believe one of them was hanging out here in England. I don't know if he's still here, but one of them was up here. Maybe he's here. I don't have any agents in this. Do I? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I'll find out next turn if he's here. But the other heir is over here, and yeah, I have no way of killing him, but he's 40 years old, he's surrounded by enemies. The Russians are actually, they did take Lithuania for the French, so good for them. Hopefully they are able to capture this. And over time, this French crusade will eventually fail, just because they're kind of stuck here in Chernigov, and they're just going to be here forever. And they're dying slowly, though, but yeah, once they do, the French king will lose influence, but not enough, because he's doing very well. He has a ton of influence. 9 influence, yeah. Yeah, he's doing very well. 46 years old, so he's going to still be alive for, you know, a little while longer, I suppose. It would be nice if the Egyptians did something, because they're kind of stuck right now. They feel, it looks like they're not really doing much. Yeah, they're kind of trapped within inaction, so... Yeah, the French are kind of the only ones making moves right now. They are pushing back against the Almohads. And that would get a little bit stressful if I have the French as my neighbors in my south and my north. That is a little bit stressful. So, unfortunately, the Italians have not been excommunicated, so I haven't really had a target for my crusade. I am tempted just to go in there and take Corsica anyway, because I do want to take it eventually. And Sardinia, just because there's only 1 unit here, I may as well, right? Like, I have these units that I got built up just for... What was I building this up for? Oh, yeah, just, like, I was gonna, like, put these with the Crusade. But now I just have them sitting here. I was sitting here to protect my Crusade marker. This is vulnerable. If anyone wants to invade me by ocean, they can take out my Crusade marker, destroy my chapter house, and then my king with 2 influence goes down to 0, just like that. And that would cause an immediate civil war, I'm sure, so... I did want some guys to guard this, but as long as I have a sufficient naval presence on the Costa Verde, then that should be fine. So honestly, I guess I could just use this to take this. I mean, Sardinia's not worth much. It's only 368, and that's fully teched up. That's a silver mine complex, a salt mine complex, 80% improved farmland, and it's still only making 368. That's just ridiculous. So obviously they could use, yeah, the governor only has one acumen. So yes, I could make it a little bit more by putting a governor with better acumen here, but it's still not worth much. It can also reduce some of the upkeep for some of my boats in the area. So it is worthwhile, I suppose. And I just have this army taking up upkeep anyway, so I guess it's all worth it. Yeah. It's going to require a little bit of building up here. There's nothing here. There's no fort. And I'm curious to see what's going to be destroyed by me taking this. Hopefully not too much. That'd be unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, in the long run, I guess, if I can get another point per counting period, just, you know, off of taking Sardinia and then Corsica, that'd be good. Or, you know, Malta's another option, but this is actually kind of decent. 3 feudal men-at-arms. It's kind of crunchy. And what are they making? 524 off of Malta? Yep. That's probably worth taking at some point. Now, the papacy has an emissary here in Sicily, and this is a land bridge between Sicily and Naples, so they don't need boats to attack me. They can just attack me straight up if they wanted to. And the fact that they have an emissary hanging out here kind of makes me think that they're looking in my direction. And the fact that their attacks have kind of petered out in the north. Like, they were doing really well against the Italians, and then they just kind of got stuck. So the papacy might be looking in another direction to attack, and that other direction might be me. Now, I do want Naples, because the Count of Aragon did have a presence here in Naples at one point. And it's being so underutilized at the moment. Because Naples can be a super rich province, but they're not taking advantage of its trade, so that's something that I could do better than them. So I guess in the meantime, I'm going to continue to boost my armies and my borders just to make sure that I'm Gucci, just good. I'm not going to rush it. I just want to make sure that I'm good. It's tempting. I'm so tempted to rush it. I really, really want to. But unless I see a great opportunity, like the Italians get excommunicated again, or something else, like if I see, you know, all of the French family members in one province and I can take them out, guaranteed. Unless it's that, right? Like, unless it's just an opportunity that I cannot turn down. The fact is, I'm making 9,000 per turn. I'm building boats. I'm getting soldiers ready. I'm working on my economy. And it's still a long campaign, you know, there's still 163 turns left. So there's no rush, you know. It's one of those things where, just looking around, yes, the French are doing very well, but it almost looks like they're getting pushed back, doesn't it? A little bit. Like, the Mongols have reached all the way west to Brandenburg. The Germans have some bit of a presence, just a little bit of a presence here, you know? They have 3 provinces, they're making a little bit of noise. The French are dealing with rebellion still. Not too much, but here or there, they're losing territories. Sweden, Normandy. They did resecure the English Isles, but, you know, the Novgorods are pushing back here in Lithuania, so they will be, you know, this crusade will disappear eventually. So it's one of those things where it's really, I really have to pull back on the reins here and say, like, no. Don't do anything yet. Don't be hasty. Just bide my time. Keep building up. Make sure my borders are secure. Make sure that my sea lanes are secure. And make sure I'm making money. And make sure that when the time comes, I'll be ready to, you know, if I need to do something drastic later on in this campaign, make sure that I'm in a position to make that action work, you know, whatever it is, make that attack work, make that, if I want to flood the French territories with assassins to kill the family members. Like, make sure that it works, you know? Make sure that I have the income to make that work. Make sure that I have the troops on my borders to defend myself, you know? So that's what I'm going to have to keep on reminding myself of, you know, here. So, yeah, eventually I will reach out and, yeah, I guess why not? Let's just take Sardinia right now so I can start working on that at the time, you know, for the time. Just, it will help out a little bit, make me a little bit more money, but not too much. So that'll just give me something to do here. And other than that, though, I'm just going to keep cracking on. Here's the battle for Sardinia. I'm just going to auto-resolve this one because it's just their one unit of Italian infantry. Hopefully I don't lose too much. Ooh, I did lose 36, but you know what? Sardinia is now mine. And I'm just going to release the prisoners. And yes, this general is now a 1-star general. Good for him. Taverns finished here in Cordoba, so I can train up some assassins there. And then the Everlasting League, surrounded by... Ooh, is this the Swiss? Yes, the Swiss might be coming out. Surrounded by greedy enemies and vulnerable in the Empire's constant struggles, the Swiss cantons of Uri, Schwisch, and Ulterwalden have signed a compact pledging mutual aid against all enemies. Although a small start, this Swiss confederation can have sharp teeth, the pikes in the hands of its many soldiers. So I don't think this means that it's going to come out yet. So yes, I'm marrying the Germans' daughters. Good. So yeah, the Swiss aren't going to come out yet, but they might be coming out in the next few years here. Truly pious. Awesome. All right, how are we looking here in Sardinia? So I'm making 320. Let's find a governor. Let's see, 4 stars. Let's see if we can do better than 4 stars. I mean, why not? Well, I am tempted to give it to my historical general, Don Roger de Loria. I mean, he's an unhinged loon, so that minus 30 happiness, that's a little bit too much for me to bear. I mean, the 5 acumen's good, but this isn't, I don't know if this is a better option. Well, it is a better option. He's a 5 acumen. He's only strange. So minus 10 happiness for him. He's not quite an unhinged loon yet. 5 acumen, though. Let's do it. Let's give it to this guy. What do we got? +1 loyalty? Yes. Here we go. And what are we up to? 376? Is that it? For 5 acumen, we just bumped it up by 50 florins? Jesus. God damn. Alright, let's start building a fort here. Just to get a little bit of infrastructure. And we did keep the port. Good, so we can just kind of move our guys off this island whenever we want. But not right now. We want to hang on to it. And yes, that did reduce the upkeep. Did it not? Yeah, I think we were paying 40 for the ship before. And I believe that we were paying 25. Yeah. Let's look at our income now. Making 9,300. Okay, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it made a difference. In any case, now I have a land bridge to Corsica if I want to do it this way. Now, I don't need to destroy the Italian fleets, although I still should before I attack Corsica, but I'm not ready yet. It's not going to be this army. This army's not the one that I want to take into Corsica. I want to build up my own better army in due time. We will get there eventually. Gosh darn it. Well, the Novgorods are now gone. Yeah, the king died of an illness and there's no heirs left. Man, oh man. They were just making some moves up there too. Yeah, that's too bad. Ooh, yes, the royal estate is now finished here on Leon. I believe that means that I can finally train feudal knights. Finally. God, it's almost the year 1300 and I'm finally getting into feudal knights. Oh dear. Citadel is now complete here in Castile. Dockyards, so now I can build my caravels here in Antioch as well. Yes, we're getting there, folks. We're getting there. All right, feudal knights. Can we get them? Yes, we can. All right, no more bishops up here. We just need some knights. Yes. And let's just keep moving. Like, what else? Like, what's next? Chivalric knights? Yes. So, what do I need? Do I need to get a citadel before I can get them? Do I really? So Lancers would be nice. Master Armor and Master Spearmaker. I believe that all comes from the Citadel. No, I have to get to Fortress for that, I believe. Yeah, I think so. So what do I need for chivalric knights then? I think I still needed a citadel for that. I think so. Because there's nothing else here showing it. So yeah, let's get a citadel going here in Leon. Man, they take a long time. 16 turns. Jesus Christ. Oh man, we need them. We need them bad. Like, France has had chivalric knights for a while. Are there any on our borders here? No, there are not. There are no chivalric knights on our borders. That's a good thing. But yep, that's a good thing because yeah, I mean the French, man, they're kind of handling their shit right now. There's still a lot of turmoil in these inner regions, you know, but the fact that the Novgorods are gone now is it's bad news, man. I was really hoping that faction reemergence, them and the Danes, like they both died without having any heirs left, and just it's just ridiculous. So yeah, and this crusade's taking forever to die out. So yeah, I can't really count on that. In fact, you know, honestly, like King Philippe, I wouldn't even mind if this crusade lasted until there's a new French king, because hopefully he would have less influence. And because like, I don't know how much influence a king loses when a crusade fails, but I don't think it's going to matter with this guy. But perhaps with his heir, maybe it would matter. So yeah, I wouldn't mind if this just kept lasting, you know, last until the king's dead. I'm fine with it, you know? Oh dear, I don't think I can help myself here. I could hire 2 organ guns here in Sardinia. The support cost is only 10, and it only costs 138 florins to hire them. I can't help I need them. I need to get these. Oh man. Yep. There we go. This is the funniest army. If anyone attacks me, it's just gonna be so funny. I have 4 units of Genites. I have my general who's a chivalric or a royal knight. 3 feudal sergeants and then 2 organ guns. Oh man. In fact, this guy actually needs to get retrained. Let's send him back home and he can get retrained up. But yeah, oh man. I mean, I don't think, gosh, if the Italians attacked me, that'd be so funny. Organ guns are they're so goofy. Like they're short, their range is so short. It's so short. But if they do get a volley off, they can pretty much one-shot a unit. So they can be super fun to play with. They like really. I've used them a couple of times and I think I've only had like 1 good shot, but it was like so epic. So cool. So, oh man, having 2 of them, that just doubles the chances, doesn't it? So yeah, it's tempting. It's tempting to do something with that, but I'm probably gonna hang tight in Sardinia for now. Getting my king up to Great Builder is a good development for me because that's gonna give +10 happiness, but also +1 loyalty to all generals. So that's gonna help mitigate any potential issues with the Civil War. However, that doesn't seem to be really an issue so far. I mean, all of my heirs do have pretty much bad loyalty, and I've just been keeping them in the same province as their king. Yeah, 4 loyalty is like okay, but I think he's the highest one. 3 on him, and then who else do we have? Yep, 3 on you. So yeah, those 2 guys used to have 2, right? Before that trait just came up. So not great. We're just keeping them all in the same province, keeping them under the guidance of their king so that no funny business happens. Man, this guy's awful. I just can't believe it. That's so bad. And he's still only 31. He's so young. He's so young. And his brothers are not much better, but we do have a son on the way. Prince Fernando. Yes. He's going to be 7 more years before he becomes of age, but my king is definitely going to live to be old enough for his son to come of age. So that's going to be pretty good, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this guy no longer being my king, because it just makes me nervous, you know, having that low of an influence on a king. It just does not feel good. So yeah, in any case, my fort's finished here in Sardinia, so now I can start working on, what do I even want to build here? I suppose agents would be a good idea. Can I not start building agents until I get a keep? Is that the case? Do I need a keep before I can do that? Yeah, I do. Well, gosh darn. Well, let's just start going on that. The main thing for me, like obviously the provinces of Aragon, Navarre, Castile, and Leon are going to be my primary troop producing facilities because of their iron deposits. And then I'm just kind of dividing the rest of my building and training tasks amongst my other provinces, such as ships and agents, basically. So yeah, and that's another reason to take provinces, right? It's not just, you know, for the income that I'm getting from them. It's just so I can have another building slot, basically, because once it comes down to the point where I want to throw assassins at the French to try to get rid of their family, it's just going to be a matter of attrition, honestly. Like, obviously, it's going to help to have the buildings that give +1 valor and +2 valor to my assassins. That will help their chances of getting those assassinations in. But other than that, it's just going to mostly be about just throwing assassins at them until a few of them squeak through and kill off the family members. So when the time comes, the more provinces that I have training assassins, the better. And that kind of goes the same with ships as well. Like, I'm doing pretty well building my ships up, but once, like, I want to get to the point where I can get my 3rd tiers. Right now I'm just building my 2nd tiers and it feels okay, but I want cannons on boats. That's going to feel really good. In fact, I mean, do the caravels have cannons? Not sure. No, just catapults on the caravels, yeah. So I think the 3rd tier for the Catholics is going to be the cog, I believe. And that's going to give me some more firepower on the sea. And the reason why I really want, you know, a good navy is because if it does come to it where I need to do something about the French, I gotta say, like, just looking at what's around me, the 3 stacks in Toulouse look pretty scary. But other than that, I feel like if I can push through Aquitaine and Toulouse, I think that the French are kind of getting squeezed a little bit, you know? Like, the Germans are just, they're making life a little bit tricky for the French. And the Mongols, yeah, the Mongols are pressing as well. And there's just enough rebel stacks in the area. The Italians are still hanging around. The papacy's hanging around. There's just enough issues to be where if I have to go to war with the French, and if I push through Aquitaine and Toulouse, then things could open up for me a little bit. However, it's going to be in the oceans. It's going to be, you know, on the seas up here on the coast where things can get really, you know, kind of bloody for me. And if I can have some, you know, good 3rd tier ships, that can hopefully make these battles more decisive. So that's the thought going forward. You know, really, obviously keeping track and keeping, you know, in touch and trying to get my military moving up and getting them stronger and better and more numerous. Yes, totally. But also agents, boats. It's just kind of everything right now. I'm not, you know, man, the Egyptians just really seem stuck. And if that's going to be the case for them, then I'm not going to worry about them. Because I eventually will outpace them in points, I believe. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about them. I should still bring some, like, better soldiers to Antioch at some point. But again, it's not like a super priority. No, it's not. So it's mostly just kind of like preparing for the French at this point. It's kind of, just kind of getting ready for whatever may happen down the line. But I don't need to rush it. I need to keep reminding myself of that, you know? Like, if this is a better opportunity to take Corsica, sure, let's do that. Naples as well. Like, Naples kind of scares me because I don't want to get into a war with the papacy that I can't end right away. And that might be this kind of war. But Naples can be so rich. You know, that's the thing. It can be a really good province to take. I don't know if the papacy just excommunicates you right away. Like, obviously this is the faction that, you know, this is the Pope. And I don't know if by going to war with the papacy, it just happens right away or what. Because I know with other factions, if you go to war with other Catholic factions, you get a warning. You know, they tell you you have 2 years to end your war or else you get excommunicated. With the papacy, I'm not sure. You know, I don't really know how that works because all I want is Naples, you know, so. Yeah, that can be a good province for me. But that, again, I don't need to rush that. Like Corsica, sure, at some point I can take it because I can get an automatic ceasefire with the Italians just by having my boats leave these waters that are bordering province, and that's easy enough. Then I can go back to trading with province for all I care. You know, that's totally fine. And then I can work around and I can eventually take Malta and then Rhodes, Crete, Cyprus. And I do want to take Greece as well, because I believe that the Crown of Aragon did have a colony here in Greece. And again, this is another one of those provinces that could be very, very rich. The Byzantines aren't doing that great at it, but you know, the potential's there. And if I'm going to be taking Crete, then I'll be at war with the Byzantines anyway. So that's a situation where that would be a pretty easy automatic disfire. Disfire? What? An automatic ceasefire. So as soon as I take these provinces, I just have to have these boats leave this region for one turn, and I can get that ceasefire with the Byzantines. So that should not be a problem. Taking Cyprus off of the Egyptians kind of scares me. But yeah, that kind of scares me because obviously I have Antioch. I'm bordering their territories, and I don't intend to leave Antioch. So would I be able to get that ceasefire with the Egyptians if I take this? I tend to think that they're in dire enough straits right now to be where like they could take that ceasefire, hopefully. That is my hope. But you know what? That's all gonna have to wait until the next episode. So until then, I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I've been Conestep, and this has been Medieval Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.